Welcome to today's brand origin deep dive. How did the map in your pocket go from military satellite data to guiding you to brunch? It wasn't a straight line. We're tracing Google Maps back to a secure, climate-controlled room that feels both forgotten and deeply vital. If you find value in this kind of storytelling, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps more than you know. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from or what you think of Google Maps' evolution. Let's dive in and discover how it all began. You find yourself in this room, servers humming with low, persistent energy. Dust motes dance in the single beam of light filtering from under a heavy door. The air smells faintly of ozone and old paper. You're here to uncover the hidden story of Google Maps, not the glossy version you interact with daily. On a terminal, you access a directory labeled Project Atlas, decommissioned. Within are files dating back to the Keyhole acquisition, a major historical turning point, riddled with cryptic names and proprietary formats. Brand historians still debate whether the true potential locked within these early datasets was fully understood at this stage. You click open the oldest log, and a cascade of dates and coordinates fills the screen, many leading nowhere recognizable on the modern map. A quirky detail emerges, a recurring phantom marker. A set of coordinates that don't resolve to a stable location or keep changing. This is where the map's pulse truly began. Far from the polished interface you know, the sensory detail focuses on the server room's hum, the screen glow, the feel of old terminals, evoking curiosity tinged with unease. Looking back at this incredible journey, from a decommissioned archive humming with forgotten data to the ubiquitous map in billions of hands, it's fascinating to see how technology designed for niche purposes can reshape our daily lives. The layers we explored, from military acquisitions and quirky data glitches to the constant push for user experience and finding that phantom marker, highlight a core lesson. Innovation is rarely a straight line. It's a series of experiments, pivots, and sometimes serendipitous discoveries found in old server logs. The brand's rise wasn't just about mapping the world. It was about making that map accessible, intuitive, and personal for everyone. The legacy of a brand like Google Maps isn't just its functionality. It's the cultural symbolism it represents. Our newfound ability to connect, to explore, to bridge distances with a tap. It's fundamentally changed how we navigate cities, how we discover local businesses, even how we understand our planet's geography and our place within it. The lessons learned speak to the power of persistent curiosity, the importance of iterating rapidly, and the willingness to build on what came before, even when it starts as cryptic coordinates found in a dark, forgotten room. It reminds us that behind every sleek interface lies a complex human history, full of challenges overcome, insights gained, and potential yet to be fully realized. The blend of high-tech infrastructure and the simple human need to know, where am I and how do I get there, creates something truly powerful. It's a testament to how information, once locked away, can democratize exploration. And maybe, just maybe, the soul of a brand is never in its product, but in the people, stories, and stumbles that shape it. Building on the initial exploration of the project's hazy origins, you now delve deeper into the core team itself. You pore over early Keyhole files and memos from the initial Google integration team. Here are the architects of an unstable world, the founders and lead engineers who dared to envision a complete digital twin of the entire planet. Their ambition wasn't just big, it bordered on obsession. You read fragmented interviews and early design documents, revealing heated philosophical debates. How do you represent a curved globe on a flat screen? How do you capture a world that's constantly changing, from melting ice caps to new construction? And whose viewpoint is represented? Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind pursuing such a massive, complex endeavor, knowing the inherent challenges of bias and change. Characters emerge from the text. There's the visionary, spotting geographical patterns others missed in the visual noise of unprocessed feeds. The pragmatist, wrestling with petabytes of clunky 3D models and the sheer weight of the data. And the designer, fiercely advocating for a more human interface against the cold sterility of algorithms. And then, the phantom marker motif reappears, a persistent, maddening error they just couldn't eliminate. Sometimes it was just a strange distortion in early imagery, sometimes linked eerily to disputed territories or regions deliberately obscured. The emotional shift in these records is palpable, from the initial soaring ambition through grinding frustration to a dawning, unsettling realization of the map's inherent, perhaps unavoidable, instability. Building on the core idea explored previously, creating the map required an unseen, almost impossible level of effort. You witness now the gritty reality of data collection. Early initiatives, like the first ground-level street view surveys, marked a major historical turning point. This wasn't just satellite imagery. It was putting cameras on cars, bikes, and yes, even backpackers scaling remote trails. Billions of images needed capturing, a logistical puzzle of epic proportions. The human element was crucial. The surveyors, literally the eyes on the ground. Their logs recount expeditions into surprisingly difficult urban jungles and truly remote locales. These entries often detail strange occurrences, bizarre visual discrepancies, or areas where data simply refused to align. A quirky detail? Many early surveyor reports mentioning odd visual glitches or objects that didn't appear in subsequent passes were often simply logged as environmental anomalies or dismissed by engineers back at HQ focused purely on data throughput. This is where the phantom marker motif first truly emerges. Not just random glitches, but specific points tied to these contradictory or missing collection moments, locations where the seen world felt off. You can almost feel the incessant click of the camera shutters, see the raw, unstitched panoramic visuals, and perhaps feel a touch of the surveyor's alienation. Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind prioritizing sheer coverage scale over verifying every single anomaly flagged by the field teams. It was a psychological toll, trying to be omnipresent yet invisible, capturing everything, while feeling increasingly detached from the reality you were documenting. The map was being built, but at what unseen cost? Building on the gargantuan task of collecting and stitching together the world's data, the next Everest was presenting that chaos to you, the user. This is where the story lands on the interface, the vibrant, clickable skin that covered the raw, messy reality. You step into the design labs, witnessing the intense debates. What color is a park? How prominent should that tiny alleyway be? Internal disagreements raged over iconography, color palettes, and the fundamental hierarchy of information. The major historical turning point here is the development and launch of the first public-facing Google Maps interface, a stark visual contrast to its predecessors, which were often dense and overwhelming. But this simplification came at a cost. You access folders of beta user feedback, revealing a fascinating mix of confusion, frustration, and surprisingly poetic observations about the map's quirks. Users reporting odd points of interest that blinked out of existence, or routes that seemed to lead nowhere. Classic manifestations of our phantom marker motif. The sensory details are vivid. The visual shock of seeing an early, radically different design iteration, an optional embedded artifact, reveals a leaked proposal with an almost unsettling visual theme. Thankfully rejected. The satisfying click of a virtual point. The evolving sound notifications. This is where you meet the designers who wrestled with usability versus accuracy. Some feeling the clean surface masked the complex, fragile truth underneath. Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind sacrificing certain granular details for broader accessibility. It reflects the quiet, emotional tension between corporate drive for simplicity and the user's primal need to truly know where they are. A subtle power struggle between design intent and algorithmic reality. Building on the map becoming a truly global, comprehensive tool, you arrive at a pivotal phase. This is when the map becomes the territory. It's no longer just describing the world, it starts influencing it. The major historical milestone is the deep integration of AI and machine learning, transforming the map into a dynamic agent. Predictive traffic isn't just showing delays, it's rerouting thousands simultaneously. Personalized recommendations nudge you towards certain businesses. Routes aren't purely shortest distance anymore. They're optimized for the algorithm's goals, maybe distributing traffic or encouraging discovery. The map feels almost sentient, a network of unseen intelligence guiding you. You might stumble across internal anecdotes about early, slightly quirky personalization attempts, like the system trying to send engineers to a random llama farm because the AI thought they liked animals, a humorous side effect of complex training data. You see internal reports describing data scientists grappling with the ethical implications. They built these powerful systems, but now confront unintended consequences. Algorithmic biases that disadvantage certain neighborhoods, or the map's impact on urban planning and local businesses, sometimes creating ghost towns off the preferred routes. Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind prioritizing efficiency over equity in early algorithmic routing decisions. The map's power is clear, acknowledged in the reports, but its potential for distortion is perhaps downplayed. The phantom marker evolves here, no longer a simple visual error, but a persistent anomaly in the logic. It's a destination the algorithm struggles to process, a route it seems confused by, a blind spot mirroring unresolved data complexities from the past. You watch the abstract lines of traffic flow visualizations snake across the screen. Hear the subtle bing of a route recalculation guiding your turn. There's a quiet surrender, a loss of independent navigation, and a subtle unease at being guided by an opaque, powerful system. The servers quieten, the screens dim. You step back from the archive, leaving the hum and the dust motes behind. The journey through the hidden history of Google Maps leaves you with a new perspective. It's no longer just an app on your phone. It's a vast, complex entity built on ambition, struggle, forgotten labor, and inherent instability. This digital cartographer, seemingly objective, promised to show us the world. Yet, in doing so, it also began to define it, sometimes imperfectly. sometimes mysteriously. Remember the phantom marker we touched upon earlier? Perhaps it wasn't just a simple coding bug. Maybe it was a feature, a placeholder for the unmappable, the unknown, or even the deliberately hidden pockets of the globe. The map, you realize, functions as a mirror, but a distorted one. It reflects not just the physical terrain, but also the intentions, biases, and anxieties of its creators and the societies it serves. It is a testament to human ingenuity on an epic scale, a repository of global data unprecedented in history, and undeniably a powerful force shaping our movements, our perceptions, and how we interact with space. But as you walk out of the building and into the real world, the familiar streets and buildings look slightly different. You find yourself wondering which parts are truly solid ground, the immutable reality, and which are just pixels waiting to glitch, waiting to change, guided by a logic you've only just begun to understand through this exploration. The archive is closed now, its secrets cataloged, yet the map itself is always open, constantly updating, constantly evolving. Its story isn't definitively over. It's just waiting for the next set of coordinates, the next drone flight, the next street view car, to lead it somewhere unexpected, somewhere perhaps just as mysterious as the points it erases or creates. And so we step back from the digital realm and the historical journey. The key takeaway isn't just the technological marvel of mapping the planet, but the profound impact this tool has had and continues to have on our perception and navigation of reality. The long-term brand legacy of Google Maps isn't just convenience. It's the subtle power of defining space, dictating routes, and highlighting or obscuring locations. Its cultural symbolism is layered, a symbol of exploration and connectivity, yes, but also of surveillance, bias, and the potential erasure of the unmapped. Lessons learned? That even the most powerful, seemingly objective technology is shaped by human hands, human flaws, and human intentions. The quest for a perfect representation of the world leads not to a static image, but to a constantly shifting canvas, reflecting back not just the earth beneath our feet, but the complex map of human ambition and its limitations. It's a reminder that every line drawn on a digital map has a story behind it, a story of code, labor, struggle, and perhaps even forgotten phantom markers. And maybe, just maybe, the soul of a brand is never solely in its final product, but in the people, stories, and stumbles that shape it along the way, leaving behind an ambiguous, ever-evolving legacy.